The deserts of Calradia are vast, often stretching for hundreds of miles between towns. Your mind does strange things when you are crossing these endless dunes. Wazu never dreamed again, but he could remember every detail of the ones he had had. There he was, this bastion of strength and power. He and his favorite horse in stunning golden armor, turning amber with the sunset. Ahead of him, a massive army decked out in sable and crimson, in perfect columns and divisions, merely awaiting his command to destroy everything before them. His orders seemed ordained by fate itself. Every soldier charging in unison, the enemy trembling at the very sight of Wazu's legions as they entered battle with discipline and reckless bravery. Entire legions of expert archers, combat tested at both day and night, their flaming arrows torching everything in range. And then there was Wazu himself. In every dream, he waded into the enemy ranks and they broke like waves on sharp rocks as he carved a path of destruction and death. Habut Akvir Bashmiri al-Maqsid. Wazu, like most of his people, knew the words well, for this was an ancient Aserai saying that meant, when a great spirit dreams, the dunes of power move. When Wazu and his army finally met their foe, they were ready in mind and body, but he found out that his reality was very different than his dreams. His men looked disorganized, their lines were shaky, and their sideways glances spoke of fear and hesitation, not valor. The enemy forces charged in recklessly, yelling threats of cannibalism and others something about tearing his limbs. Wazu fought bravely, but this was no peasants' tournament against poor serfs with no training. These foes were armored, they were organized, and they struck with skill and precision. While sand lice crawled into his butthole, an irascible horse kicked sand into Wazu's mouth while he lay unconscious. Eventually, after they were looted, Wazu and his band dusted themselves off and tried again. Crushing insolent villagers and ransacking their food stocks before winter, Wazu's confidence began to grow, and his skill, particularly as a horseman, started to really take off. Ultimately, there was much to learn for Wazu and his army, concepts like tactics, or even gravity, and Wazu was left with little more than dreams and hopes as he ventured across the deserts. Alright friends, welcome back again to another episode of Tactical Enlightenment. This YouTube channel is dedicated to all things Bannerlord, and in this episode we continue on with our Aserai campaign here. This campaign is now about 2.5 hours old, and we are far into Western Empire territory here. We've actually been following this little caravan fella. This is another one of those quests where you have to guard these caravans, and he's taken us on quite a long journey. We've been to Zionica, where we won a tournament. What a surprise too, we've been to Poros, where there was another tournament we won. And then, I can't remember if it was Physion or another one of these Southern Empire cities, we also won a tournament. It's been a very lucrative run here, kicking the shit out of bandits trying to attack our caravan. We were able to pick up another companion that we were highly enamored with. We're clan tier 2 now. And we continue to advance along here in this early game campaign. You can see Wazu now has got some skills to level up here. Some of these I've been sort of waiting to do in an episode, but I realize if I wait too long with some of these skills, my character won't be gaining in strength. So I'll probably do a few of these skills, and there will be sort of a minutia episode or something like that. It'll probably be a sub episode where I talk much more about some of my concepts and ideas behind developing characters. I know a lot of guys are interested in that kind of stuff, and I haven't covered that much in this campaign. So Wazu level 13, he's starting to get reasonably strong. We've got 108 troops in our army now, right? And it's looking pretty good. We've got 5 companions, including this new gal, right? We recruited Charlize Theron. We've got 30 master archers, and then a bits and pieces of other, bandits and mercenaries and whatnot. Some hillmen. We've got a bunch of prisoners that we're hoping to recruit over the next, weeks and months, and we're going to lead this caravan to Rotai. Now, I'm surprised it went this far, all the way out to Rotai, but we're okay with that, right? Because we have renounced... Yeah, you ransackers. I don't really want to fight these against 40. We will be doing auto-resolve for more of these, even though that's probably more deaths than we would have incurred had we fought that out. In fact, we lost one of our forest bandits. We did capture a couple forest bandit parties along the way. It's very nice when you're following these caravans. If you're sort of adept at sidestepping and following the caravan, you can handle little bandit hideouts and stuff like that along the way. We've acquired some pretty amazing loot, actually. Blackheart from a tournament. We got some armor from a bandit hideout. We got this legendary one-handed bearded axe that'll probably give to some character. As well as other various loot along the way. We are exiting the poverty stage of this campaign, and very quickly we're going to get to the point where money is honestly not much of an object. We're not there yet, that's for sure, but it's approaching that direction. And that's what Wazu's concerned about, right? We are role-playing. Wazu is an incredibly avaricious, greedy, money-grubbing fella. He wants money more than anything and has no loyalties to the Aserai. Of course, the Aserai mistreated him apart from his bud, the Prince Unquid. Speaking of money, here's more money from this quest. Apart from Prince Unquid, who's treated him reasonably well, Wazu has no loyalties. His only loyalty is to money. All right, so we're maxed out for companions, and now the big question is who do we help, right? We are knee deep in the middle of the map. We're going to sell some loot here. I'm going to make sure we have all our food stocks. At this stage, we've got so much loot, you can actually hit the number button, and what I try to do is just sell sort of the trash loot where I have 15 or 20 of it. Wrapped shoes and hardwoods and ripped wrapped shoes and shit like that. And we're doing that to lighten up our load. We want to be able to move quickly. We'll dump some of these pack horses, but obviously we're also doing that to collect money, right? We're going to be upgrading our army recklessly here at this stage. Every single upgrade we'll be doing. We'll be recruiting every single high-quality troop we can, and we're going to be seeking some kingdom here to be a mercenary for, right? We are eager to sell our services here. So maybe the Northern Empire with the center of the map occupied. It also depends on what countries are at war with, right? We do not want to join a country, or a kingdom, I guess is a better term, that's already at war. Or that's not at war, I beg your pardon. So we can do this little hideout here. Again, I've promised not to show you guys 86 of these, but since this is the start of what is probably going to be a recording for the 3rd episode, I'm going to blaze through this. I'm trying to run the balance between showing a lot of this shit. In fact, this is a hard bandit turnout, or bandit hideout, or whatever they're called. There's a lot of bandits here. And with archers, of course, these guys actually represent a legitimate threat. So I'm going to hold my shield up here and hope my companions do some decent work. These are really valuable, I was going to say, for leveling companions, and there you go, right? Mr. Iron Belly gets stronger. A lot of guys always ask, how do you get strong companions in Bannerlord? Well, a lot of it's just exposing them to a lot of danger. And then hopefully winning when you encounter that danger, right? If we're nonstop fighting battles and we're losing and or suffering huge losses, that's not the kind of experience you want to accrue. Like, I'm going to try to protect companions when they're being assaulted. In fact, I think they're attacking Charlize Theron. Hope you guys don't mind if I go ahead and role play that this companion is the legendary South African actress, 6 foot tall, a blonde gorgeousness. Hopefully my wife doesn't watch this episode. You coward, you're the one shooting the bow, motherfucker. I'm not the coward. Now we got one guy left here, but we're going to take advantage of a few of these, and I do promise to edit out the majority of these in the future. As you could tell, starting this episode, I edited out probably a half hour or 40 minutes of gameplay where it was trudging through tournaments and following the caravan. Now, we won all those tournaments. I didn't win one of them. Wazu the Golden won one of them. He actually kicked my ass. Let's see if it's going to be in the dark again. Yeah, I apologize for this. Again, if anybody knows why this is happening, if you guys had some ideas, let me know, and maybe I can try to fix this. It might have something to do with the version I'm on too. In fact, now I can't. Oh shit, I might be bugged. Come on, hit the... I can't get out of this now. Well, this will be a funny way to start an episode. I just narrate blind. All right, here we go. So we're through that process. We gained a forest bandit boss, which ironically, the forest bandit itself is probably better than a forest bandit boss, just because they have more arrows. But we'll take him. We'll take all this loot. We got another small banner here we can apply to some character. So I'm going to try to run the balance between trying to show you guys a lot without showing you guys too much, right? Nobody wants to everybody wants to eat the burger. No one wants to see where it comes from. That kind of concept, right? Grisego's castle. That is a castle layout that I'm very adept and excited to defend. So whoever the Northern Empire is fighting, we want to be their enemy, right? We want to join the Northern Empire here. Let's see, we can go to... I'm hoping a noble will run by so I can quickly join their services. Of course, we renounced our service to the dipshit pacifist Aserai, almost like my first campaign. I'm not quite sure why this caravan is still showing up. The quest is over, right? Yeah, I was sure it said the quest is completed. That must be a bug. But we're eager to join another kingdom here. Like I said, we repudiated our mercenary contract with the Aserai. They were only paying us 130 gold a day. We'll see if someone else will pay us more. See if anybody's in here. Sometimes they don't let you in. Suzada.
Well, and what do we have?
And what do we have here? Pretty blue eyes. Interesting. Yeah, we're always looking for a potential mate, right? You know, we're not just looking at the merchandise here. We are potentially buying. We can't wait to get our hands on it. Although my gal is still Arwa. 390 they're going to pay us here to be a mercenary. We happily accept. Thank you very much. We are very eager to collect lots of gold from the Northern Empire here by killing our enemy. Running from Bovan Party. All right, so I got a decision here. I can either try to help this Northern Empire force that's being throttled up by Epicrotia, or who are they at war with here? Botania, Sturgia, Blandia. Wow, so it's perfect. They're at war with like everybody all around here. Botania, I can't tell who's fighting him, and he's going to get captured probably before we can make it up there. So it makes more sense to me that we would try to get to Grisego's castle. If it's a small defense, a small amount of troops there, it's really nice. You just sneak in or attack it outside. Yeah, see, they got captured. Fucking dipshits. You know, we'll attack them outside, but if it's a big force, we'll try to get in and defend that castle. That could be highly lucrative in the mercenary stage, especially at 390 gold per influence point. I don't think we can afford the time here to wait for deserters, so let's see what we got going on here. Well, there's a good amount of defenders, 350 defenders. Now, of course, targets of opportunity the whole way. We will be capturing every little looter. There'll be a stage where I don't do this anymore. You know, it's just going to be not worth it. But in the short term, you know, we'll collect it. Unfortunately, these fucks killed one of our master archers. That would never happen in the actual battle, but it is what it is. Sometimes for convenience, you pay $6 for a bag of chips. That'd be $1.50 at a grocery store. So there's a lot of troops there. Is that Botania? We will recruit a bunch of troops here. Bandit bases. We're still doing bandit bases. It's nice when you do this quest because not only do you get money, but they point out where it is. Yeah, see, we're losing money now on our mercenary contract. Or more accurately, we're losing money each day because of how expensive our army is. That was that a huge army? Caladog. I apologize for the song repeating. My songs, like 40 or 50 songs that are on my playlist, they're on random, and very once in a while, like 1 in 80 or whatever, it'll go back to back like that. Wow. 1, 2, 3 separate armies. There's like 12 or 1300 Botanians here. This is potentially juicy, but potentially also a good way to get captured. Do a few upgrades here since we're going to be engaging in an extremely difficult siege defense. But we have no fear. Fuck it. Let's do some shit here. I don't think we've been captured yet in the whole campaign. No, actually, I'm quite sure we haven't. Well, actually, maybe when we were like a level 2 or something. I don't remember. But we're going to go ahead and break in here and try to defend this shit. They got a couple hundred defenders. We've got 114 plus some good archers. We'll recruit all these scrubs because we might need every single troop in a siege defense like this. And let's see how this shit goes. 200. So we're outnumbered about 6 to 1. It'll be about 5 to 1 once we get our troops inside. Of course, we lose 27 troops getting in. That's fine. We could never hope to fight that force outside the castle. This gives us some chance here. Of course, this layout is very similar to Veron Castle and Lavinia Castle. Slow this thing down here. And a bunch of other castles with this sloping courtyard. This is one of the best castles in the game to defend. So a little 20 seconds here of housekeeping. I want 3 infantry divisions, 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Apologies for this. This is the mercenary stage. They don't give you time to set up your army and shit for whatever reason. I guess if you're not a lord, then they hurry you or some shit. All these troops, I guess what they're doing is they're saying you guys don't matter, so go ahead and whenever you get your ragtag army assembled. They got some good troops at the gate there. There's probably 15 troops that are tier 4 and tier 5, but I also see a lot of militia and guys with sticks and a sickle. But we're going to put our tranches here, 1, 2, 3, 4 archers. I'll probably stick 1 on the wall behind me here. 3 different infantry divisions to essentially plug up holes as the enemy attacks. And I think we can get 1 archer division up here to get some really nasty enfilade fire on the gate. Of course, we got to see what kind of siege is here. I actually didn't pay real close attention to that. And look at these future dead men here. This is unfortunate. That's the AI troops. Those are not mine, I'm pretty sure. And they will put those guys there and they will get executed by 800 fucking Battanians throwing javelins. Battanian fiend champs smoking them with arrows. Look at, they can't even get a shot off. Just wah! They get fucking obliterated. And I got fucking Tweedledee and Tweedledum here on the catapult. It's an auspicious start to this siege defense here. But we've got our fireballs here. We're starting to rack up probably EXP and siege skills. And we'll probably get a level or 2 out of this siege defense, even if we lose. So let's do this shit here. We might be able to destroy the ram. The siege tower's over there. Here we are. We're already getting levels. I'm going to see what else siege is here because I want to be able to throw these fireballs down on this ladder here. I'm going through here very carefully because, of course, my character is... he's a lightweight still. Like 1 good javelin takes 80% of his health. And look how slow I still move. Alright, here we go. We got a nice catapult up here. And out of my way, fellas. Go defend the walls like you're supposed to. We got a nice big pile of... they look like yarn balls or whatever. Spun yarn that we're going to fucking fire down here on the enemy. Evidently, it's very sharp and hard balls of yarn because it's obliterating guys left and right. Make sure none of my troops are on the walls. I like to do that because, of course, if your guys are on the walls in a siege like this, they're all dead. They're killed instantly, right? You can hear all the axes and shit hitting the wall, clink, clink, and the arrows just raining down. I see militia laid on their face all over the place. Not a good situation to be on the walls in a defense like this. So we're going to rack up a half dozen more kills here, maybe 2 more shots of this, and then I got to get down to that fireball pile over there. Just out of sight there. We're kind of hurrying some of this up. I'm using the RTS mod sort of intermittently during sieges. I hope that doesn't drive you guys crazy. I'm trying to sort of speed through these episodes just a little bit. Again, trying to find the right balance between showing you guys everything and also boring you guys, right? There's a delicate balance, especially with today's attention spans cratering thanks to Google and Apple and all these other fucking giant companies that don't give a shit what happens to our brains. As long as we're buying their shit, right? These guys are happy. All right, we're going to wade through the carcasses of these dipshit fucking troops. In fact, more volunteers looking to die are going to try to hold the Battanians back here at the ladder. We're going to take the smart approach, gather all the accolades here, and rain some flaming Greek fire down on the enemy. There's another level. We'll see how many levels we gain in one siege. It might be 3 or 4. Look at this, just a big pile of Battanians here, and of course this is not rocket science. Now, if you don't have 150 siege skill, a lot of times these fireballs are not available. at a castle defense. I'm not quite certain why they're here. I don't have 150 siege skill. Oh shit. God, they are just Johnny on the spot shooting on the walls. I'm not going to be venturing on the walls anymore. That was enough for me. I stuck my head out for a quarter second and got shot. And again, I'm wearing pretty weak armor. We're going to stick this first division at the gate in a square, but we have a very tiny defense force of infantry. So we'll see how it goes. Fortunately, a forest bandit, I think that's one of ours, out of my fucking way. I think he just killed like 30 people with a good catapult shot. So that's good. They've got that side held. The gate is okay. They're leaking through a little bit here. I almost threw a javelin into the back of these Manavliatons. I don't have any Manavliatons, so it must be these must be Northern Empire troops, and we're glad to have the help here, right? If it was just us, we'd be toast, and honestly, if it was just them, they'd be toast, right? So this is the old symbiosis here. We'll probably kill some of our own guys with javelins. That's a price we're willing to pay. Our horse is doing good work. He just charged and trucked the enemy. That was amazing. And now it's this strategy, of course, a lot of you guys are familiar with. I've employed this countless times in situations like this. We're bottling up that gate and going to rain in projectiles on them. We're getting kind of bowled over up here. I do have another infantry division that's up there, though, that I can reinforce it with. I've got these guys that I can use in an auxiliary manner. You always want to have levers to pull in a keep defense. In other words, if things start getting bad somewhere, guys you can immediately send there to shore it up. That's why Napoleon would have like his old guard and other reserve units in warfare throughout history. They would use them for critical moments in the battle, because if you don't have any optionality, you're like... well, I can't think of a good analogy. Usually I can think of a good one, maybe more caffeine here, in fact, while we're running up here. Get a little bit of caffeine. I remember I used to be hesitant to do stuff like that while I was playing. That's probably why. Hit a guy right. Who did that? Was that one of you guys? It wasn't me. One of my troops hit that militia. Did you see that? Hit that militia right in the back with the fucking spear. That was bad. We'll have to try to ask all the guys there and see if they can remember who threw that javelin. That was fucking terrible. There'll have to be, some consequences for that. Somebody was really careless with that javelin. We will investigate that after this battle. So far, so good, though. Let's get some enfilade fire here. I'm going to break off Division 4 in the 8th Corps here, and we will get some troops on the side of these battalions coming through the door. Right? You want them getting hammered with arrows at every angle. These guys here, see how vulnerable they are to the side. If I can get some archers here, even 4 or 5 guys or whatever that was, that'll help. I can engage here a little bit as long as they're not looking at me, right? Because I certainly am not going to be able to handle troops like I'm Zuvan. Right, this guy's level 12 or some shit, 13. But the arrows are starting to rain in here. It looks good. I've got this auxiliary division here that we can bring down. These archers here will spread out in a thin line. That way none of those guys are getting in each other's ways. I've got javelins galore, and the Battanians are pretty fucked here. Take a little breath. I know some guys are like, hey, you don't have to talk, the whole time, you stupid asshole. You could, just let the game play sometimes. You're not obligated to talk the whole time. And then my brain is, hyper caffeinated. Is like, what, squirrel? Let's talk about something. That's a good sign, I think. I hear guys, it's the audible clue that somebody's routing. I think that's their troops. Of course, it could be our militia. I don't think it's our troops. I don't think we've suffered more than 5 or 10 losses. It might be our militia, right? They're getting hit from both sides. They're getting attacked by the enemy, and then all of a sudden, they do a good job defending. And one of my careless troops hits them with a javelin. We'll have to see. It must have been one of these Aserai veteran infantrymen. Right? We'll penalize him his daily bread. Let's see if we can blow these guys out here. Oh shit. That's actually way more than I thought was still left. Let's back up here. F1, F5, right? We're gonna pull all these units back, fall back, and kill these fucking bald and bull haircut Battanian fucks that are pursuing. But looking up at the power bar, this siege is over. We just need now to run through the process, right? A lot of those guys are trying to get up the ladder. That might be because if they come through this door, of course, they're insta-killed. Look at the arrows coming in. Got this infantry division here reinforcing things, right? We're in great shape here. I can just play defense while our archers work, and victory is achieved. So throughout this campaign, I will be playing, well, not just throughout the campaign, but early on here in this mercenary stage, I will be looking for targets of opportunity like this, right? I don't give a shit if this castle stays in the Northern Empire's hands after this battle. I'm just trying to speed this up, by the way. But in the short term, this is an amazing honeypot for me, right? Like, I don't know how many times we'll defend this. Probably not more than a couple times, just for the sake of interest for you fellas, just charging here to finish the battle. But every time we can defend this castle or a similar type castle and get paid to do it, we're going to do it, right? We're definitely going to whore out. As I've said, I'm role-playing, and Wazu is a totally greedy fuck. He was poor his whole life. 100 in renown. Look at all the, and this is what I mentioned earlier. You start defending these castles and you instantly look at the levels. I mean, 80 points to athleticism, 60 to throwing, 80 to siege, right? In one battle, 9 minutes and 17 seconds, Wazu just went from, you know, being a 7th grader to now he's a high school senior. Look at the Forest Bandits, 216 kills, and they had 1 loss. Yeah. That's why you defend that castle. We collect, we'll probably get 4, 5, 6 prisoners too. If we're lucky, we'll get Caladog. Actually, I don't know how that works. I think there's no other nobles here. We should get Caladog. Come with us. All these Battanian fucks. They look stupid too. I mean, talk about stupid. Look at this fucking guy. He looks like one of those fucking munchkins and shit from Willy Wonka Chocolate Factory. Yeah, we're gonna let a few of these guys go. I'd like to have good relationships with a few 66 fucking troops. I mean, we can't even take all these troops, so we'll take the best troops here. They're mostly Khazate troops, so for whatever reason, Khazate and Battania have been fighting. That's kind of strange. They're just bypassing the entire kingdom of Sturgia that's in between them. I don't know, maybe somebody spit in someone's face. But their losses are gain here, right? And we will load up our army. We suffered some losses there, and look at how beautiful this is, right? We are just loading up on high-end troops. Of course, now we have the money to support these troops, right? We've got, I don't know how much money we're going to get from that, but we're going to make a lot. All the loot, we're going to sell all these prisoners. I didn't see Caladog, so he must be in the castle. Although some of them fled. Maybe we can capture him still. But look at all these prisoners. This is beautiful. Now, I did promise I would not recruit like 80 Battanian Fiend Champs for this playthrough. That is true of the early stage. However, we are going to take some of these prisoners just because this is realistic, right? We happen to be in this battle. We're a mercenary, and to the victor go the fruits, right? Or the spoils, or however the fuck saying. My wife laughs at me all the time because I get all those sayings wrong, right? I'm like, this is the straw that broke the hat. You know, I say things that are stupid, and she loves that about me. One of the things that's great in life, if you have at least some intelligence, you don't mind looking like an asshole sometimes, right? A little self-depreciating humor. So we're going to load up here on prisoners, load up on money. We still have the loot to come, right? This should be our loot. And look at this shit, right? Just absolutely loaded to the gills. I can replace my ghetto wooden shield with a tier 6 legendary Ridge Saber. We're just loading up on sick weapons already. And if I haven't yet convinced you to do this shit, I will soon, right? We're going to do a few more of these. I wish there was some elite armor or an elite bow, but beggars can't be choosers. And this is a huge haul. I mean, look how expensive it is, right? 3,000, 4,000. We went into these battles with like 10,000 or 15,000 gold. And just like that, we're like rich. Never mind the fact that we're probably going to get 20,000 or so selling nobles, right? We're going to try to run over to a city, what is it, Saneopa or something like that, and sell these prisoners. I mean, look at this armor, 20,000 in armor, and we've got Charlize Theron here. She had a cured leather shirt. In fact, let's go ahead and just take a look at you, gal. She's a pretty good looking lady there, don't you think, fellas? Right, 6'2", just mean. She swings a fucking savage battle axe. She's one-handed and polearm. Polearm, that's a weird skill. We don't really have a good polearm. I've got a little spear on her right now. Bone crusher. That's another thing we got from a tournament. But we can give her this sword. And again, I'm going to try not to spend hours outfitting the companions. I may have a whole boring episode that I purposefully leave a disclaimer saying this episode is going to be boring because we are putting gear on our companions, right? We are leveling up all their perks. I will cover stuff like that. And I will try to give a disclaimer, or at least say it very early on in the episode, that this episode is not going to be full of battles. Now, I like the food, but here's the thing. I don't want to be encumbered and get trapped now that we're at war and Botania hates us. Now, we're getting a little auto-save here. I might decrease the frequency of those. Although it's nice in case I get a crash, that'll save our progress. Let's capture these Botanians. He's just fucking standing there. Well, if you're standing there, come with us. We'll give you some exercise. You can run behind the cows and the shit and all that. I like to role play that. We always tie the nobles in a big long chain right behind our cattle. And if you've ever seen a horse take a shit, it just goes everywhere. So they're all getting spattered with horse shit as we drag them along our army. Look at Calidog. He looks stunned. He's like, we're sieging. What just happened? A mercenary army. Yeah, stop there. Well, come with us. In fact, you know what we're going to do? We're going to fight this guy. Fuck you. I actually want to kill him myself, or at least score the kill. He won't be killed probably. They've got elite troops. This is not going to matter. I'm just strictly doing this for the role-playing fun of it here. We're gonna run down this dog, Calidog. He was just sitting there like an indolent fuck, probably wondering what happened to his army. He had like 1,200 troops right there, and he's just picked apart by this mercenary force and some militia. And the next thing he knows, he sees all of our troops just carting off his proud army in chains. He's like, what happened here? Well, what happened here is you got fucking demolished, Calidog. Now come with us. Of course, he's blocking when he's facing the other way. He's got his stupid helm on. I don't know if you can actually get that helm if he drops it. I don't think I've ever seen that helm in game. But maybe we'll get lucky here. Of course, we got to catch this fuck first. He's fast. He's probably got 200 hit points. And we're just trying to ride this guy down here. I understand this isn't the most exciting part here. Yeah, Calidog is ours. I was going to say the Jarl scores the kill. I don't know what we're going to call Wazu at this stage. We will see. We will call him something, his title or whatever. By the way, I'm a huge... what's a proponent? What's the opposite? Opponent. Opponent of titles. If I ever go to England someday and they're like, oh, this is Sir so-and-so, please address him with Sir. I'm going to immediately purposefully call the guy by his name and be like, what's up, David? You know, whether it's... an actor or whatever, just because I think titles have no fucking purpose other than, you know, maybe like a judge or somebody like that. I don't think titles have any purpose or value anymore in the modern egalitarian world. So I won't be calling him like Sir Ben Kingsley or whatever. It'll be, what's up, Ben? How you doing? I love your acting, but I'm going to call you Ben. Are you all right with that? I think that's the guy's name, Ben Kingsley or whatever. The guy who did... you English guys are probably going to scold me if I'm wrong. The guy who did Gandhi, he did Searching for Bobby Fischer. He's a great actor. Way back in the day, he did Hackers or Streakers or whatever with Robert Redford. Anyways, enough movie fucking trivia here. We're going to collect some more prisoners here, and I got to take a piss. I know that's a funny little addition to this, but I'm going to take a very brief break here, take a piss, and hopefully with some snazzy editing. No elite armor here from Calidog, but we'll take it. We'll put the guy's boots on, right? We will have a very brief intermission here. We can do... I guess I can do one hideout. Wait until nightfall. Now let's take a break. And really hoping this sort of becomes a blur to you fellas. We're going to wait till nightfall here and take care of this hideout. The more I do editing, the more I'm hoping it's fairly seamless and doesn't really bother you guys, or maybe you won't even notice it, right? This is one of the rare times I'm mentioning it because I did have to piss. Caffeine, right, stimulates your whole system, including your bladder. All right, we're going to blaze through another one of these. Again, I promise not to show you 45 hideouts, but this happened right after that battle against Calidog, and so we're going to wrap this shit up. You can't defend forever, motherfucker. Squawks like a chicken. I don't know, maybe I'm a sadist, but I absolutely love the variety and the sounds of guys dying. Maybe I would have made a savage Hannibal Lecter, right? I'd be killing guys for fun just to hear what they sounded like. Right in the kneecap. We'll clear this out quickly here and move on. But already highly profitable, right? We are now engaged with the Northern Empire here, and effectively we are collecting dinero. I was going to say dinero. Yo hablo español, sí. Mi esposa y yo somos hablamos español. Yeah, see, never mind. I won't do that to you fellas. We're going to cruise through this, though. We're going to connect some dinars, right? We're going to collect some money. That's the purpose of this mercenary stage. I think Tail World stuck this in here for you to build up money because, of course, for your campaign, once you declare yourself a kingdom, it's vital that you have a nice little nest egg built up, just like real life, right? In fact, the numbers are fairly similar. You want to have somewhere between, I would say, 500,000 and 1 million to be able to successfully pursue being your own kingdom. And this mercenary stage, I think a good goal, just like real life, speaking US dollars, should be somewhere between 500,000 and 1 million. We'll see if this blacks out again. I apologize for this again. We're just backing up, holding up my shield, and I'm hoping that all of a sudden I don't hear it say, you were defeated. Fortunately, we have won the battle. Our characters are gaining a bunch of skill levels, and each time these are lovely opportunities to make some cash, grab a few prisoners, gain some skill points for the companions, and move it right along. I'm hoping these hideouts take a minute or two, and of course we'll ramble about some other shit like saving money. And now we look for targets of opportunities, right? We are allied with the Northern Empire, and they are fighting 3 different kingdoms here, right? They are fighting... look like the Sturgians, Valandia, and Britannia, which is lovely, right? That means opportunities aplenty. In fact, this guy's running from somebody. This is Western Empire. Part of the reason I came to the center of the map is that corner that I was in, especially in the mercenary stage, was fucking dead. Especially after our coward fucking pacifist Unquid and Sultan Mahmud. That's, of course, a little role-playing. Effectively in your campaign, Unquid will be the Sultan, but for this campaign I'm going to go ahead and role play that he's the prince at the start of this, and then at some point or other I will simply change that reality and he will become the Sultan. But he fucking declared peace on the Southern Empire even though he wasn't at war with anybody else. I don't know, maybe he's a pacifist. The Western Empire is also at war with Sturgia, so I think this is a mutual enemy here. Western Empire, Northern Empire, there's all kinds of shit going on here. We're going to get in this, though, right? We have to be a part of every battle. Why? Because Wazu likes dinars, right? I'm going to start saying dinero, yo quiero dineros. I'm going to start saying the Spanish form of money. Efecticio. Anyways, I better not start getting too deep into that. My wife and I are novice speakers of Spanish. I want some faster speed here. I want these perks. Again, I promise to have an episode where I cover everything from perks and companions equipment. A lot of these I'm kind of speeding through quickly here because, again, just like the hideouts, I don't want to bore you guys out talking about whether it's sprint or more melee skills. A lot of these are fairly minimal changes, but collectively they add up, right? And some of these are vital. Some of these perks you really should be taking for sure, one over the other. Like here, we're almost always going to be traveling, so I want to heal while we're traveling rather than sitting still. This is a tough one, right? It's nice to knock them off their horse. You definitely want +2 ammunition when you're mounted because the more javelins you have, the more guys you're killing. And a lot of these, again, you could really take your pick. 10% build to non-range siege engines. That's kind of a nice one because then you're building trebuchets and shit faster. Siege equipment not getting hit or more hit points. But a lot of them are really close. And then when you add in the lower ones, you almost got to do like a complex calculus. Now this one I really like, but it's a tough decision because extra hit points for rams and siege towers obviously helps you take castles and cities easier. I still like having more ammunition, and since we're going to have an archer heavy army, we will do that. Now look at all these levels. I want to say we were level 13. We're level 17 now, so we gained 4 levels. in that one siege, that 9-minute and 17-second defense. Fast forward to this battle. We're going to truck right through this real quick. I am going to fight a few of these big battles just because there's a chance they'll be interesting, and I don't want to suffer a lot of consequences from the auto-resolve. Obviously, we will, if we get to the stage where it's 500 against 100, we will auto-resolve. But a handful of these big battles early on, I'm not gonna fast forward. So I'm watching what our allies do here, of course, because we have a very small army here. This dipshit's facing the wrong direction. Get off your horse and do something, you stupid lord. It's very funny that doesn't cause relation loss. You can literally throw javelins and kill lords on your own side, and then after the battle, they're like, thank you so much for helping. And I'm like, you're welcome. Have a seat. You two can have a seat there, fucking Sturgeon Lord. Onto the ground. Catch a javelin while you're rolling around in the dirt. Galden. Eat shit. Fire a few more javelins here into our troops. I better retreat, though. I forget. This guy gets like one shot by javelins and a strong spear thrust. So let's see what we do here. What do we got going on here? These are all cavalry. Oh, look at these cowards. They're shivering with fear up in the corner, even though we outnumber the enemy here. What a fucking disgraceful Northern Empire. This is embarrassing. Look at these tactics. It's a tight square, or tight circle too, so nobody can shoot. Everybody's in each other's way here. This is a totally inefficient setup here, and I'm sort of compelled to watch and wait. Fucking pussy-ass lords. Off your fucking horse, too. So it's Sturgia. They have a handful of cavalry, but you know what they have, of course, is a huge infantry block. All right, let's use the other side of the valley here. I'm pretty sure we can kite if we have to, and we're going to rack up kills. What we're going to do here, just like I've shown before, we're going to use the enemy, our allies here as a crash test dummy. Our troops will be mobile. Our troops will be moving intelligently. We will let this dipshit Western Empire force be our shield. We will be the sword, rack up kills. We will kite as necessary with our archer and infantry divisions here. And I think because we're divided here, the enemy is going to sort of have to choose one of these two targets, and either way they're fucked. We will kite, and obviously if they attack the enemy, we're going to shoot them directly in the back. So there's a huge glob of fucking soon-to-be-dead sturgeons. Of course, our allies here could F1, F3, but they've decided for the cowardly route, right? That's right under cowardly tactics. In fact, if you go to the Webster's Dictionary, there's a picture of this tactical setup where when you outnumber the enemy, you form a big circle, quaking with fear, showing all of the soldiers in your army how scared you are of battle. This is like basically the definition of a pussy. We're going to engage these guys. We're going to slug it out with these sturgeons hand to hand. Try to drop a few of these higher level sturgeon cavalrymen. And look at our archers are raping them, right? They're going up. They're attacking, or they're kind of in between attacking the Western Empire and us, and they're really fucked. Like I've said, because if they don't attack them, they're going to get shot, and if they attack us, we'll kite. Our archers are doing major work here. Get the fuck out of my way. Fucking drives me crazy. Sometimes I get a grudge on a horse that seems intentionally be stalling my ass, right? Like it's in my way, and then it circles while you're trying to get away. I know it's just a pixelated horse, but sometimes I want to break out my two-handed axe and just carve apart these fucking piece of shit conspiring animals. And this battle's basically over, right? Like there's a handful of sturgeons heading for the exit here. Looks like the Western Empire force just charged, so we can get on the action, right? Our infantry now can probably kill here with minimal risk. We're going to run down people with our cavalry. We're gaining levels. We're gaining EXP. Don't forget, too, of course, when you're a mercenary, you really want to rack up as many kills as possible because you get money for it, right? You get money, I think, for influence. I'm almost certain it's influence. And, of course, right now our contract with this Northern Empire force is the biggest I've ever seen. I've never seen 390 gold or whatever it was per influence. That's a massive amount. So if we get 30 influence here, what is that? 10 grand, right? We get. I think that's right. Actually, it'd be almost 12 grand, right? So we're gonna, I know this is a little boring here at the very end here. We're gonna run down a handful of these guys. I am farming a little bit. Maybe some guys sort of consider this lame or whatever word you guys use these days. You guys got all these words, like when some guy's a badass. Some guy was watching one of my videos and he's like, "You're a total Chad," and I was like, "I don't know what the fuck you talking about, dude. What the fuck does that mean? You guys got all this different lingo." I try to keep up on it, right? But I'm almost a boomer. I'm like, just hoping I don't see "okay boomer" all over the chat box, when I log in to see how a video's doing. But for the most part, I'm having to learn your fellas' lingo here. So we're gonna do a little, what is this? A little EXP farming or whatever the fuck. We're gonna do a little scummy farming here at the end of this battle here. Another successful, highly lucrative victory for us. And I'd be surprised if we had 10 casualties there. We might have like 5 or less. And completely smashing everything we face. Of course, obviously we had help here. And no casualties. 1 dude injured, 147 kills, tons of loot, tons of renown. Skill points are going up. Our companions are leveling up. So we're off to a good start here as a mercenary, right? Things look very good. Got Gyarios with this strange looking helmet. Looks like it could also be used as a broom. Look, we got all these free troops and we have no room for them. I think when I hit the next clan tier, I get more troops, but what we're going to do is we're going to take some of these high-end troops and dump some of these brigands and looters. We actually have such a strong army already that I don't really even have a lot of troops to dump. Like, I don't want to dump freebooters because they become forest bandits, which are really nice archers. They're cheap. So we'll just dump some of these highwaymen and bandits and whatnot. And this is amazing. We're probably 3 hours into this campaign, and maybe this is normal. I don't know. It's amazing to me. We already have a stacked army. We have tons of elite archers. I've got about 15 infantrymen that are pretty tough, and then maybe 10 guys that are not so tough. We're getting all kinds of prisoners. I just looked down. We got 128,000 gold, and of course that's going to be going up because we're gonna ransom some of these prisoners. Life is good, right? In our mercenary stage here. Wazu's digging it. He gets a nice big shield, and Wazu, like I said, he loves the dinars. Wazu used to make 1 dinar a week, waiting to tables at the Sandy Crotch. He's now making thousands of dinars and carving the shit out of the enemy at the same time. Wazu is very happy. Wazu is also hungry. He is 7 foot tall. We're role playing. He's 370. He's a big boy. He needs lots of food. That's why you see me stocking up all the time here. And I think it's time now to sell some of these prisoners, right? We can head to Seneopa. I want to see if you have a attractive daughter or something here. Wazu is also horny. His own hand, my own hand. What is she, 15? We're not a child molester. This gal looks way too young. She looks like she's 3 feet tall. That would be a fatality, I think, if Wazu got engaged into intimacy with that little tiny woman. So we'll pass. We may... Ultimately, again, I'm aiming, my goal is Arwa. If you don't know who that is, it's one of the Aserai princesses or whatever the fuck they're called. She's a good-looking gal. She also has, if I remember right, she has like 200-something weapon skill. So we will be seeking her out at some point. But, we're a free agent right now. We're not opposed to grinding against some grimy bed, little tiny princesses of the Northern Empire here, right? Just like all human beings, actually just like all organisms. We have one goal on this planet, and that is to make more of ourselves, right? Whether it's COVID, a brown bear, or humans, your mailman, they all have one main goal, and that is to survive and then replicate themselves. I think we're maxed on companions. We got to do a little bit of R&R here. Oh, no, these are all our prisoners. So we're going to make another giant handful of money. 40,000. So the money is pouring in. Look at our mercenary contract. We're wildly profitable here. We can do a little bit of trade, but I think I'm going to wrap this episode up. That's been a nice... Well, I look down, it's been 44 minutes, 45 minutes. We can do a little more here. We're going to do a little bit of balancing on our food. You'll see me selling it if we have too much, and of course buying it if we have too little. And I aim for balance regardless of the cost. At this stage, Wazu and company have so much fucking money. I'm really not concerned at prices. We're no longer doing the whole trading game. We're not worried about you know, buying 9 fucking bricks of clay and carrying it days to this fucking town to make 100 dinars. Wazu at this stage is shitting dollars. And just like that scene in Dumb and Dumber where they're just giving hundreds of dollar bills to everybody. Here you go. Here you go. Just fucking giving out money. That's how Wazu feels right now, right? He went from being a street urchin, admittedly a giant street urchin, to one of the richest fucking mercenaries in all of Calradia. All right, so let's see. What are we going to do now? More mercenary work, probably out east, right? I'd like to engage the Khazate for a little variety. We've got some siege defense going on in that direction. The Emperor, Lucan. Who am I? Well, you're going to learn more about me soon. In the short term, though, I want to know if you have any hot daughters. Propose a marriage between our family. Whose hand? Of course, my hand. She's got really strange eyes. She's attractive, but her stats suck. So no thanks. That probably wouldn't work out. Yeah, I just rejected your daughter here, Zoanna. She's really attractive, and that's something. There's something to be said for that, right? When you're playing a video game, you might as well have a hot wife. A lot of the guys think the companions or whatever they're called, the wives in Bannerlord, aren't pretty to look at. I don't know. Maybe you guys are used to like Instagram. They look pretty to me. Right, these 20, maybe I'm just seeing how fertile they are. 21 years old. I know she's going to be cranking out the children, and that's what Wazu wants, right? Of course, as sort of the behind-the-scenes director of this campaign, I want babies, right? We want future murderers for this campaign. So we're going to rocket our way up with the Better Time mod. Made peace with the Sturgians. Ah, you asshole! I was heading up here to try to get some action against the Khazate and Sturgians. And this fucking Lucan, that's what you get for turning down the guy's daughter. See if we can trap these Sea Raiders. Sea Raiders are nice bandits to have. Take a few prisoners here. There's nothing going on in the southeast still. A lot of pacifism down there. I guess we'll have to say the Sultan Mahmud is a pacifist. Maybe his son will be more warmongering. But that's what I get for saying no to Lucan. As soon as I said no, he waited for me to fucking wander a couple, 3 days, and then he laughed and declared peace so that we have to run back the other direction. So he's sort of forcing our hand here. We're sort of compelled. Oh, I don't have any. I thought I had some attribute points. What do we got here? We got. I can add some skill points. I don't. Here, let's just do this. I apologize for these little delays. Although, actually, I'm not going to apologize. It's no big deal. You guys are watching the campaign. You're doing it voluntarily. If you don't want to watch it, you can watch something else. But I am trying to push through a lot of this stuff so it doesn't take forever. We're going to try to stick to meat and potatoes in this campaign. And what I mean by that is combat, campaign strategy, character development, role-playing, and pounding the fuck out of our enemies, right? We are going to develop a savage army. Right now, I'm really focused on a small, compact army.
Your pardon? I did not catch your name.
She is good looking, and she's got like a nice, like Hampshire or Shire, or however you fucking English people say that, a Shire. She's got a nice little British accent here, but we'll pass. Zoanna has no skills. Okay, we're friends now with the Lake Rats. That's good. I better be careful rocketing through here fast. We can get captured very easily by a force of 400 or 500. When you're running the Better Time mod, this thing where you can go like 4, 5, 6, 10 times speed, obviously you can get yourself into a lot of trouble because you're moving so quickly. You just get instantly attacked by a huge force, and you get kind of caught up in it. In fact, we're in enemy territory now. I better slow this shit down. Even 2x speed is dangerous. So, Britannia took Epicrotia. That's very interesting. A lot of campaigns, people complain that Britannia is kind of weak. We're going to do our best here to make Britannia weak, right? At least in the short term. It says there's a noble there, but then it doesn't show anybody, so that's scary. Because it's always dangerous being nearby a city with nobles inside, because they'll pour out on you, and the next thing you know, you're fucking executed. We're gonna tread carefully through here because we are deep in enemy territory. Western Empire? Okay, so there's other squabbles going on here that I can't interfere with. It looks like a Sturgian force is besieging a Western Empire force that's holding down a Battanian castle, so it's a little bit chaotic here. We like chaos, though. Chaos is good for a campaign. Unfortunately, everybody's lighting up in white, and white, of course, is the color of neutrality or peace or whatever. We want some people to kill, so hopefully there's somewhere in here we can find some vulnerable, not too big armies for us to attack. Now, how big, right? We can probably handle upwards of 200 with this army. It's obviously not fully upgraded. We don't have cons guards and shit like that, wildlings. But we have, I would guess, conservatively, 30 or 40 tier 5 or 6 units. You do some tools. Ah, shit, I forgot. When you're at war, you can't do quests. So we'll skip that. And there's a ton of nobles in Seonon, or however you pronounce that, but none of them are coming out to play. Maybe they're all licking their wounds after they got their asses kicked at Gersegos Castle. What do we got going on here? So the Western Empire is now attacking Sturgia. And I can't join them because we're already a client of the Northern Empire. Actually, I don't really want to join them. We're getting so much money for the Northern Empire that, at least for the rest of this episode for sure, maybe longer, we are going to be employed by this very rich client of ours. Now I'm going to try to track this fucker down. This would be some nice EXP, some nice goods. Kill this Battanian fuck. We got your ass. Motherfucker just makes me look like an asshole. Come on, we're so close. Well, I got a lot of egg on my face here on the campaign side of things. Everything's just outmaneuvering me, from the tiny sea raiders and looters to the caravans, all making me look like a bitch. Part of the reason is we're carrying around all these prisoners. I'd like to have a lot of prisoners. It does slow you down. Yeah, we recruit a few potential Battanian Fiend champs here. Again, I promise you guys I won't be recruiting 80 Fiend champs early in the campaign. That's probably the easiest way to make the to make the campaign too easy. We'll recruit a half dozen. We'll see. You know, and some of them will get killed in combat. But this is like that duckling that the mama duck forgot. She left. All the other Battanian forces fled the other direction and left this little tiny Battanian force. And this little duckling, unless they also outmaneuver me, they just died. Right? They just maneuvered themselves into a death spot. They're futilely trying to retreat here. And against so few here, I think you can easily argue that this is an auto-resolve situation. We'll see how our guys do. That's acceptable, right? Four deaths. It's not great, but it's okay. In the name of brevity, we will accept those losses, right? We got lots of prisoners, tons of upgrades. That's nice. And we're just going to kind of accept that as part of the game, right? We're going to get some losses during these auto-resolves. So more loot. We're piling up a giant amount of loot. Pretty soon I'm going to start selling that at every city I go to, and it's literally we're going to take all their money, right? Every city we go to, we're going to sell our loot to the capacity of all the gold they have. I picture like 15 merchants coming out, and we got wagons. We got these wagons full of all this loot that we've racked up, and our guys just dumping on the ground. They're like, 60,000, take it all. And the merchants are like, yeah, we would like some crumpled boots and some, the worn fucking rakes and shit like that. Strange process, but it is what it is, right? Wazu doesn't care. He wants the dinars. Art of the Trade. There's all these delicious quests, and I can't do any of them, of course, because they're all Battanian villages. And, of course, the Western Empire villages don't have any quests. Almost every time we see a battle like this that we can ass jam, right? That's the term I think you young guys use for this, right? When it's PvP, this would be an ass jam where there's a fight going on and you just come in from behind and totally swing it lopsidedly and interfere. We're going to do some ass jamming here. Wazu has absolutely no scruples at all. No morals, no scruples. He cares about one thing, dinars. And we're going to take every opportunity we can to collect dinars. There's tons of allied forces around here. We need some fucking foes. I might wander right the fuck into Battanian territory. Fuck it. We got 116 troops here. Let's just invade their pristine motherland here. Let's be as audacious as we can be here. Well, let's see what we can find. Now, we'll be cautious, of course. I'm moving at a 5.0 clip. We can get out of here if we have to. But we're greedy, right? We want some money. Now, if I get captured here, I'm probably, and this is not an exaggeration, going to lose 200,000 in loot. So this is the proverbial, if you're in a casino and you go in with $1,000 and you get up to 200,000, leave immediately, right? Like, you want to cash in those winnings. Don't double down. Just take your winnings and go. If you ever win 20 hands in a row at blackjack, you're supposed to leave, fellas. I know most of you guys probably know this, but you kids that are experiencing gambling for the first time, please don't do that shit. God, this would be tasty. What do we got going on here? 3, 4. We're going to do it. There's one Northern Empire fuck here, and we're going to try to rescue them. Very dangerous here, right at the doors to Sainon. It's going to be a challenging battle here, and we're going to interfere because this would be 3 nobles that we could take prisoner. We are going to take these guys prisoner, right? Anytime the power bar is close to 50-50, we're going to win. So, of course, that blur commands we're setting up a kill box here, right? The enemy has a mix of infantry and archers. I understand that. They actually have a lot of horse archers and cavalry, it looks like. It's kind of a mixed force. Actually, they have a lot of horse archers. These guys are circling around behind us. I'm going to focus on these horse archers. We'll have our infantry hold the line there. I'm going to be prepared to hold those guys back. They're fucking pounding our archers here, so let's get these guys spread and let's start tackling these horse archers. These motherfuckers, Karahergit, I don't know how you fucking pronounce that shit. The Karahergit, these motherfuckers. We're going to kill some of these horse archers. Shit, they're already charging our infantry? I didn't think they would close that fast. Our infantry's probably going to get swallowed up here. That guy got beheaded, I think. Yeah, they did get swallowed up. Well, let's back these guys up into range of these archers here, and then we'll do a sweeping attack with Cav in the 6th Corps. We're going to suffer some losses here because I was a little bit negligent. Obviously, we're not going to fight every battle at a high efficiency level. We're going to try to, but we're going to make mistakes. This is an obvious mistake, but fortunately, it's in a battle where the outcome was never really in doubt. A little bit sloppy here, but I was a little over concerned about their horse archers. We're going to make mistakes. Even with 10,000 hours in this game, it's convoluted. There's hills. You can't always see what's going on. We're definitely going to make plenty of mistakes. I'm sure some guys actually like that, right? We're not going to just fight like a flawless campaign. But in this case, of course, a handful of losses is really not going to be material. A lot of those infantrymen will probably survive because at this point we've got probably half our infantry is tier 4 or 5, so the survivability rate's higher. Our medicine skill is getting higher. The kill box is now wide open, and this battle is over. There's some chance that we get caught by forces that attack us from Sainon. That's definitely a risk after this battle. Of course, we'll be disorganized. We'll be vulnerable briefly. But I think it's worth a shot. And of course, we might defeat those forces too here. This is not a perfect battlefield for us with all the fucking trees everywhere. I'm glad I missed there. That's our guy. I've got this, not Argyle. That's our guy. I've got this, this friendly icon thing too low. I like to have it low so it's not distracting, but if it's too low, of course, you can't fucking see what's going on. What do we got going on here? How come this battle isn't over? These motherfuckers here won't give up. They're like trying to regroup. 12 archers. You guys can die then. If you're not gonna rout, you guys can all take a javelin right in the fucking chest. Right in the face. Down you go. Die, you bastard! Well, if you guys insist, we will kill you guys. Sometimes when they have a good leader with leadership skills and high morale, they won't rout, right? These guys clearly are defeated, and for some reason they're like fighting it out. So we'll enjoy the sunset here while our troops cut down these last Battanians. I can't believe they're not routing. We're just gonna have to kill every single one of you, huh? Ooh, all the sound effects. Kill her. That's one of my favorite female death sounds. Just sounds like the Wicked Witch of the West dissolving in acid. Just obviously I can't imitate it. What we got going on here? We'll capture all these fucks. Come with us. They all look like they're 12. We're making friends left and right. Our relations going through the roof. We're getting, look at it, perfectly replaces the troops we've lost. We get some Skolder veteran Broda. I prefer Lake Rats for the javelins, but we'll take some mercenary tier 4, right? That's always welcomed in the army. Rack up some upgrades here. We're going to get some more loot. Some pretty nice loot, in fact, some decent armor. Again, when we go to a city to sell this shit, we're just going to tell the merchants, bring all your gold, bring it all, because we've got lots and lots of loot for your store. What's this guy doing? This guy just suicided on us. I don't know. The ravens are hungry. Well, they're going to be feasting from your eyeballs there, dude. I don't know what this guy attacked us for. Maybe he's hoping the forces in the city would come out and help him. Well, they didn't. So come with us. We'll collect some more fucking dipshits here to our prison line. And this continues to be a highly lucrative episode, right? We've been a mercenary now for maybe 45 minutes or an hour with the Northern Empire. And I'm looking down and we have 220,000 gold. And we're about to get more. How's this guy moving so fast? He's got mostly infantry. Oh, you know what's going on here? They have this bonus moving in the forest. So our guys are used to the sand. I guess we're stubbing our toe on every single tree root and shit like that. And he just scorched us. We got lots of cavalry and he just torched us like he was Usain Bolt. What we got going on here? A new target. Ladu Ghul. I think she might actually want battle. Defending Gersego's castle. Oh. I can't tell what the fuck's going on here. She must be heading to somewhere else. Now she's running from us. Well, you're not getting away. At least I don't think. I've already said that a couple times this episode and they've gotten away. 4.6. We should be able to catch this gal. It's going to be close. See if we get intercepted here. 111, they're running from us. That tells you the strength of our army. Right at this stage, the Battanians are running in fear.
I bid you peace.
You bid us peace.
At least until I find.
Oh, okay. Well, come with us. She's another good-looking gal. She looks like she needs some sun. Of course, Battania, it probably rains all day. I guess it's simulating like, what is it, Skye or the area of Skye in Scotland where it rains every fucking day. That's what she looks like. She looks like she hasn't had any vitamin D for about 6 years. So we're going to help her. We're going to take her prisoner and then maybe we'll drag her down to, Ortesia or something like that. Deposit her in a nice dark prison. She won't mind. I don't recognize this battlefield. Maybe I've fought here. I have to have fought here. I've fought so many battles. But this is really interesting. There's all kinds of ridges and valleys and shit. And her force was a mix. There's a good amount of cavalry and archers, but it was mostly infantry, like a lot of the forces early on in the campaign. 64 infantry and only 13 archers. You guys know what we're going to do here already, right? It is kill box time. Very simplistic at this stage. We're going to have the 4th, 5th, and 6th. The 6th has what I would consider skirmishers, although we don't really have a lot of skirmishers at this point. Maybe we will when some of these Battanian prisoners come to life, right? When we start getting some, what are they, skirmishers. They're actually called skirmisher, right? Very original name, and veteran skirmisher. The wood runner, I think. Then we will start working our way up to some actual skirmishers. The only skirmishers we have right now are the Aserai veteran infantry. Their infantry's running, which is bad, right? We want them to come to us. Start setting up archers here at multiple angles. Their cavalry's pursuing us, but their infantry didn't run to a good spot. Actually, that's the worst spot they could be in. We're going to be able to hammer them at range, and how the game mechanics work is when an army fighting you sets up that kind of position. As soon as they start to get pounded with arrows, they attack, right? And so it's like a double whammy. Not only are they going to let us soften them up before we attack them here, but then they're going to charge us predictably right into a kill box with the 4th, 5th, and 6th here. Just a simplified kill box. We'll be able to circle around with cav and infantry and then completely obliterate this 4th. This is another one of the battles where even though the power bar is almost close, we're not going to suffer. I bet we don't suffer. Well, I better not make any predictions. We're not going to suffer many casualties. How about I just make that broad declaration there? And maybe you guys don't want to hear that shit. Maybe you guys watching the campaign don't want to hear me prognosticate on battles. Maybe you just want to see me play and shut the fuck up. That's the kind of thing you want to give me feedback for, right? If you're watching this campaign, if you're planning on following this campaign, you're going to have to suffer through listening to me ramble on 30 to 50 episodes. You guys are essentially in charge of that shit, right? I'm not gonna stand on one leg and hop up and down with my hand on my head, but I'm gonna do what you guys ask as long as it's reasonable. If you want less commentary, let me know. In fact, we'll take a little break here. Obviously, what we're doing is just a kill box, right? Infantry division in the center with an archer division. Cav on both wings to sort of give us protection from archers, but also to protect from cav. And then we're going to widen our position into a crane formation as the enemy comes in and completely obliterate them with projectiles. They're coming right through the center. And yeah, this is a situation where I don't really need to give narration, right? A lot of you guys are familiar with this. Most of you guys are probably doing this in your campaign, right? This is highly effective against infantry-heavy armies, and we're going to make a lot of bacon, a lot of bread, a lot of dinars in this campaign doing exactly this. We're going to win critical battles doing this, right? We're going to be able to take on big and outmatched foes using this kind of strategy, this kind of tactic. They're now charging. I don't know who they're charging. It says they're charging. Oh, they did catch up to an infantry division. These guys obviously need a speed banner because they're getting caught by the enemy. But the enemy just fishballed into a shield wall, and this battle's over. They're just shot to pieces. Archers have multiple angles on them. And the only thing that'll be left in this battle is to charge, chase down, and destroy their archers. This one guy's coming after our archers, talking shit. I'll eat your liver. These guys are talking shit right before they die. Their archers are 900 yards away, not doing anything to us like cowards. One Fiend champ came up and got shot in the face. Squawks like a chicken as Wazu cuts him down. We'll sweep through here with cavalry, but this battle is over. And I think this episode is over, right? We have now probably run over an hour on this episode. I'm going to aim for roughly an hour for each of these episodes, 2 or 3 times a week. I'm going to aim for episodes for sure on Friday and Sunday. We will have Epic Siege every Saturday. I'm trying to keep a somewhat regular schedule for the fellas who kind of tune in, like it's a football match or a soccer match or however you guys think of it. We will have pretty regular episodes, but I may not always be able to play 3 hours each week. We shall see. The wife is highly tolerant, but sometimes she looks at me like Ladugal looked at me right there. Like, really? It's a beautiful day and you're going to play Bannerlord? All right, so we are rolling through everything in sight so far. We haven't had any tremendously difficult battles. Hopefully that happens eventually. Ooh, this sledgehammer, I'm digging. This sledgehammer is the kind of thing that'll be fun to wield in some battles. Of course, I don't have two-handed skill now. Either this guy or his son will have two-handed skill at some point. You can count on that. I like swinging a hammer, knocking guys all over the fucking place. You want some too? Chasing us, huh? We'll fight. My music just cut off for some reason. He said he was chasing me, now he's running from me. He's got some backup though. In fact, there's Calradia again. Maybe we can capture his ass. You look fucking vulnerable, dude. He's got a mediocre force. Of course, these Batanians all move 300 miles an hour in their forested homeland. And I kind of want to wrap this episode up. So I think unless we can corner him here and get a real quick battle at the end of this episode, we're not going to catch him. In fact, he's like all these other units, he's making us look like a bitch. Wazu is not quick. He does not move fast. When you're 7 foot tall, 360 pounds, you don't move fast. But if anybody's dumb enough to stand still for this army, we are going to pound their shit, right? Lucan's making an army. There's more fighting to be done in this campaign. Of course, there's more fighting to be done as this mercenary stage of this campaign. And we're going to recruit a few more Batanian Fiend Champ line units. I got to change that auto save thing. It's getting kind of annoying. But we're going to wrap this episode up, right? We're up to 145 troops, Clan Tier 3, as we charge on in this campaign, right? This Aserai campaign continues, fellas. I appreciate all support, all the guys who watch this on a regular basis, all of your nice compliments, all of your friendly words, even the critiques when I'm not playing well. Of course, you want to subscribe if you want to see more, friends. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you next time.